Hello everyone, happy breastfeeding week. So this week is dedicated to World Breastfeeding Week, and in honor of that I decided to make a video telling my breastfeeding journey and also advice I'd give any mommy who would want to try out breastfeeding in their motherhood journey. So my breastfeeding journey started when I was expecting. So I sat down with God and then I told him everything I'd like for this pregnancy. I told him that, hey Braji, I'd like to have a natural birth with no medication, no nothing, natural, just like how the women in the Bible used to do it. Women in the olden days and stuff. Then I also told him that I'd like to be able to breastfeed because it's not something, as much as we think it comes natural, it's not something that comes natural. There are women who genuinely sometimes don't have milk even if you have breastfed another baby in the past. But this it depends, basically. It depends. So I sat down with him and I was like, I'd like to breastfeed, right? And it was honestly a selfish decision for me because I've watched videos of creators, specifically South African creators, mummies who have breastfed before, and they've told me advantages and disadvantages of it. Maybe I'll link some of their videos on breastfeeding in the description box, but the first person I used to watch she used to be Mommy and Baby Approved, one of my favorite creators, but now she is Olerato and Family. So she used to breastfeed her kids as well as Udimpo Maponyane. And Udimpo is the creator that actually convinced me to exclusively breastfeed, because she's the one who showed me that you can pump when you're at work for your child and keep a stash in your fridge. So after watching all of those creators and researching on breastfeeding, I thought I want to exclusively breastfeed, and if I can, I will. March 2024 comes around and I have my baby and I'm in the hospital. The nurse asks, do you want to breastfeed? And I was like, yes, I'd like to breastfeed. And she does that thing that nurses do where they just without permission take your breast and your nipple and squeeze it hard to see if colostrum is coming out. And it was really painful. I was like, oh my goodness. She squeezed and colostrum was coming out. So she's like, you're fine. And then she latched my baby. And latching is just to put the baby on the boob so that they can latch onto the nipple. And she didn't tell me how it's supposed to be right when you're latching, how it's supposed to look, what is a good latch, what is a deep latch, all of those things that a lactation consultant would tell you. She just said, oh, your baby's latching well, go ahead. And listen, from the minute my child had latched onto me, she didn't stop. She did not stop. I thought there was something wrong. And after that, I didn't see that nurse. So I couldn't ask her, why is my baby drinking so much? My baby was just latched. I couldn't go to the toilet. I couldn't do anything. She was just on my boob. So especially at night, she used to latch the whole night, and I got tired. And then the next day, she got admitted into the neonatal ICU. So then I had to go home. And from home, I had to now pump. And just a background story in pumping. In my mind, I thought, first 3 months, I had maternity leave for 4 months. Thought first 3 months, it's just me and my boob and my baby. There's no bottle, there's nothing. Then on the 3rd month, just before I go to work, then I'll start with bottle things and with pumping. Then I'll start looking for a pump. But the best thing my partner did for me when I was pregnant was to get me a pump, because without that pump I wouldn't be able to pump milk for my baby in the NICU, and I would panic thinking, I don't have a pump, don't know which pump to get. So he got the pump that is now famous. Like, I always wonder how he did it, because he didn't know which pump to get, but he just got the pump that is now famous around mummies, that is affordable but good. I forgot the name of it, but I'll try to take a picture at home and include it in the video. So he got that pump, and that pump is the one that actually helped me to be able to pump. So I used to try and pump every 3 hours, put it in the fridge. Then the next day when we go to the NICU to visit our baby, I used to give the nurses the milk that I pumped, and they would always complain that this milk is not enough. Are you drinking water? And I was like, yeah, I'm drinking water. Then this other nurse asked, how many liters are you drinking? And I'm like, 1. And I thought that was enough. She's like, no, you need to drink 3 liters of water, and you need to like drink something called jungle juice to help stimulate your milk to come. Like, they made me so worried that I have little milk and I'm pumping little milk, and it got me so worried. So I started like buying Estoni and all of these remedies to try and stimulate my milk supply. Looking back, they made me panic for nothing, because your baby doesn't drink as much as she is latched. So they do this thing called cluster feeding. Cluster feeding is just when they latch on for a very long time to try and trick your brain, because breastfeeding is a demand and supply sort of thing. So it's to try and trick your brain and your milk ducts to panic and say this baby needs more, to prepare for their milk supply as their stomach grows. So my milk supply was fine. All I needed was my baby close to me so that they could cluster feed. That's why they kept on panicking, saying this child is always hungry. She wasn't hungry, she just needed to latch on to stimulate my milk supply. So I pumped for the whole week. It was the most exhausting thing in life. When I tell you that pumping really battles with your mental health, like, you will be depressed, because pumping is so ineffective. Honestly, it takes you 30 minutes to pump something that your child would have gotten in like 10, but we'll talk about pumping later on. So I used to pump, and I was pumping. I wasn't exclusively breastfeeding, which is what I told God I would like to do, because she was in the NICU. So I was pumping, and the nurses, especially at night, would give her formula as well. They would give her NAN. So the first week of her life, my daughter was combo feeding. So combo feeding, then we took her back home after a week, and we continued with combo feeding. My partner used to do the bottles, and I used to breastfeed. Then I read that if you're a new mother, in order to, because your milk supply hasn't stabilized yet, whenever your child is drinking formula, you need to pump as well. And then after that whole NICU thing, I was traumatized with pumping, right? So I didn't like to do it. So I wanted to maintain my supply without having to pump when my child is drinking formula. So then I took her off formula. I thought, rather this child just be on my breast the whole time than me having to pump, because pumping is draining. So then that's when our journey to exclusively breastfeeding comes into play. Exclusively breastfed for 6 weeks, and it got in your breastfeeding the first few weeks is hard, because number one, you don't know how much your child is drinking, if they're drinking well at all. Your nipples are always painful. Other mothers, their nipples sometimes bleed, and they'll tell you that it's fine, even if your nipples are bleeding, you need to give the child the nipple to drink, because whether you're going through the most, you need to breastfeed, right? So she was cluster feeding the whole time, and it caused anxiety for me, because I didn't know how much she was drinking, and I don't know if she was gaining enough weight. But after 6 weeks, she went on her first checkup and with her pediatrician, as well as with the nurses that just came for immunization. And when they weighed her, she weighed like 5 kgs. So she was born 2.9, so she weighed 5 kgs at the 6 weeks appointment. So they said she's gaining weight. So after that, I was relaxed. I was like, okay, clearly my body's doing what it's supposed to do when it comes to feeding our child. But then at the 6 weeks appointment with the pediatrician, he asked, what is baby eating? And I told him that I'm exclusively breastfeeding. And he's like, okay, are you pumping for the child? I'm like, no. And he's like, you need to do that because you're a working mom. If your child doesn't learn how to drink from the bottle at an early age, they will reject it. So now we went home, we were panicking, we had to buy bottles for baby. Then I'll try to I didn't want to pump, honestly, because it was trauma. So I got something called a haka pump. So a haka pump, you just put, and it latches on your breast while the baby is drinking on the other breast, and it sort of pulls at the early stages of breastfeeding, you leak, right? Especially the other breast. While your child is drinking on the other breast will leak. So rather you having leakage on the other breast, the haka collects that milk. And I used to get like 50 mils maybe from the haka. So I'd use that 50 mils and then put it in a bottle, put it in the fridge. Then, if my baby wants to feed again, I'd start with the bottle with the 50 mils so that she gets used to drinking from the bottle. Then I would give her the breast again. So that's how I introduced baby to the bottle. So that was fine. And then after 6 to 8 weeks, my milk supply stabilized. So before then, I used to sleep and wake up engorged, and I used to sleep and wake up like the sheets would just be wet because of the breast milk, because it hadn't stabilized. And it stabilizes once it's basically getting used to your baby and their needs. So at first it just fluctuates until demand and supply is sorted out. So that was it. Another issue I had with breastfeeding in the early days is that my baby would drink milk every 1.5 hours. She would want to be in the breast. So we went to the pediatrician and told him this, and he's like, this is not good. This is not good. A baby's supposed to be drinking after every 3 hours and not 1. And he suggested that I should train the baby to only drink every 3 hours and get idami or a pacifier for when she's now screaming and wanting to drink every hour. Now we're panicking, and his reasoning for this is that I'm going to be at work, so it's not wise to give the baby a bottle every hour, right? And I should train the baby. And he also insinuated that something's wrong, like, why is my baby wanting to drink every hour? So we got home, we were stressed. The first day we tried out this thing of when she's screaming before the 3 hours, I'd give the baby to my partner, and he would take the pacifier and try to put it in her mouth, and my baby would scream the whole time. And my partner was like, you know what, let's not listen to everything a doctor is telling us, because this baby's screaming, wanting to drink. Let's just give the baby what it needs. It's food. It's a basic need. And he was right. He was right. We started doing that. And when I checked on TikTok, a lot of lactation consultants on TikTok were saying that a breastfed baby is not the same as a formula-fed baby. Formula-fed babies can go longer without food, so they can go the 3 hours. But breastfed babies, their stomach digests breast milk quicker, so they will need breastfeeding more often. that's just a note that if you choose to breastfeed, your baby might need to eat more often than the 3-hour interval that they talk about. And that 3-hour interval is like the max. That's what I've researched and found. It doesn't mean that your baby should go the 3 hours. It means that at least every 3 hours your baby must eat. So it means that they might eat like every 2 hours or every 1 hour, but as long as they're eating every 3 hours, it's like a minimum, sorry, not the max, it's a minimum that your child should be eating. It's every 3 hours, right? So just take a note of that. And I tried to research why actually my child is eating every hour, and I don't know, it could be that my child was just hungry every hour, and as she got older, closer to the 4 months when I needed to go back to work, then she started drinking every 2.5 hours. So as they get older, they don't drink as much. We also discovered that my baby has a lip tie. So these are things to check out, especially if you're breastfeeding. In the hospital, the pediatrician does check for a tongue tie, and he checked my baby and was like, no, your baby doesn't have a tongue tie, you're good, and we were discharged. But he didn't check the lip tie. So a lip tie is like in between your lips and your teeth, your gums. There is that I don't know, skin, I don't know what it is that attaches them, right? So a lip tie is when that skin goes really down, right? Not allowing your baby's lips to flange, so to go out, right? So their lips need to go out so that they latch properly. So my baby's lips wasn't going out well, so it would go in like this, so she wouldn't be able to properly suck. So that is my suspicion on why she had to drink more, because she wasn't getting enough milk or dragging out enough milk well. So also check out those things. I did send a picture of the lip tie to our pediatrician, and he said that he wouldn't advise us to fix it. There are ways to fix lip ties. You can go to a pediatric dentist, I think they call them, and they will use laser to actually cut that skin so that it's shorter and your child can flange their lips better. But we decided we're not going to do that. Even even our pediatrician was like, hey, baby's growing fine. If you can tolerate baby drinking every hour or 2 hours, then it's fine, right? So yeah, that is my breastfeeding journey. After the 3 months, we got a nanny, and my baby started now drinking during the day. She would drink from the bottle, and at night when I come back from work, then during the night we're just breastfeeding. So she was sort of using bottle and breastfeed and the breast, but it was all breast milk. So yeah, so at the office I would every 3 hours I would pump, and I got there is a bag you can get on Takealot where you can put your breast pump. I got that portable breast pump. I'll show you the other one. So I had 2 breast pumps. There's the other one my partner got for me when I was pregnant. Then there's the portable one, all from Takealot. I'll try taking pictures, and luckily in my office there are many bar fridges. So if you have mini bar fridges, it's easy for you, because you will just pump, put it in those plastics that they have, and put it in the fridge. But if you don't, there are those freezer things. I'll try to take a picture that they sell on Takealot as well, and Macro and all of these stores. They normally blue. You put water inside of them, then you put them in the fridge at night before you go to work. They freeze. Then when you're at work, you'll just put your breast milk in the bag with those ice things, and they'll keep your breast milk cold. So I continued pumping which was hell. Like, I hated pumping with a passion. I continued pumping from 3 months to when my baby was a year, because after a year, during the day, your baby can go without breast milk or milk in general, right? So the pediatrician did suggest that we use whole milk, so your cow's milk, because that's okay for your baby to drink after a year. My baby didn't want cow's milk. She also didn't want inido, which is growth milk, after your baby turns 1. So she just ate, honestly. At least my baby's a good eater. So during the day, since she was 1, she would eat your foods, your purees, everything like that. The nanny would make sure that she's well fed, and then when I come back home from work, that's the only time she will breastfeed, so during the night. So that is my breastfeeding journey. If I think about anything else, I'll include it. And then let me rather make another video with my breastfeeding advice for any new mom, right? So this is just my breastfeeding story. Then the following video would be breastfeeding advice, but like practical advice. So what to buy, what to do, everything like that, who to consult. But just my advice to wrap up this video, I'd advise you to think about how you'd like to feed your child before you get pregnant, if you know that you want kids, or during your pregnancy, right? Do research, and like for me, research is TikTok, honestly. But do research, ask other mothers if you know someone who's breastfed, whether to form an opinion if you want to combo feed, if you want to combo feeding is for both formula and breast milk. If you want to exclusively breastfeed, which is just on the breast, or if you want to, you can exclusively give your child breast milk without putting them on your breast. I know other mothers don't like the sensation of breastfeeding, so they choose to exclusively pump. There's that option as well. So decide on what you would like to do, and then honestly do it. And if it doesn't work for you, change it midway. It's all right. There's this saying that's going around on TikTok that says a fed baby is best. Fed is best. So as long as you are properly feeding your child, that's all good, right? But I would encourage you to breastfeed, because I've done it. I'm a bit biased, but all of these packages and all of these formulas that you will see are always written breast milk is the best, and it is the best because your body literally formulates breast milk for what your child needs at that very moment. So if your child is sick, or if your child is not okay, then your body will know, and it will formulate that breast milk based on what your baby needs in that moment. And breast milk, the quantity of breast milk after your breast milk your milk supply stabilizes doesn't change. So the quantity is the same. I remember in the mornings I used to pump 350 mils in total in the morning. Then during the day it would be like 120. And if you check it out, those mils are quite tiny, but it would be okay for your baby even when they are 9 months old, because it doesn't change in quantity, it changes in formula. So it has more fat when the baby gets older in order to fill them up more. So it's a formula thing. Like your baby, your body is magical because it literally creates a formula from scratch on demand, right when your child is telling your body that I need milk. Your body will formulate milk that is perfect for them at that moment, and just shows how God is so intentional with our bodies and in our motherhood journeys, to be able to create bodies for mothers that give their child exactly what they need. at the time that they need it. So I'd encourage breastfeeding, specifically for the baby and for you. Benefits for you as a mom. If you're a lazy hen, it is good because during the night you don't need to wake up and make milk. You don't need to wash and sterilize bottles. When your baby cries, you just give them. You don't need to warm up the milk, because your body is already nice and warm, and the milk is already nice and warm. It's perfect temperature. Even now, like when my baby's just crying at night, I just give her the breast and I go back to sleep, because like luckily when they're older, they can take the breast out of their mouth. Not so much when they're younger. You need to watch out to make sure that they don't suffocate, especially if you have like a big breasts. You should be careful so that you don't suffocate them. But when they get older and they can put the breast in their mouth themselves and take it out, you can just give them the breast and fall asleep and they'll take care of themselves. So it is a great journey. It also really helps with bonding. I don't want to lie, because you're forced to look at your child in the eyes. And you can like watch them. It really is a beautiful thing. So I'd highly advocate for you to breastfeed your child, even if it's for like a short period of time, just to have that experience. So that's it on my side.